What's up, gangsters? I have collected a pile of interesting things. So, how about a few minutes of random? Okay, let's see what's up. First, I guess, since it's right here, is that I've been making progress on the little Arma Hobby 1/72nd scale Mustang B/C. And it's been pretty cool. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it because I am also doing a build review series as per usual when I do a build project. So I'll cover all that over there. But it is, yeah, this has been a whole new challenge because this thing is fucking tiny. And all the stuff, and I find that I have to do all the same stuff that I would be doing at a larger scale. Like dressing up the panel lines right there where the wing part joins the fuselage part, which is challenging on a Mustang kit of any size, but especially at this size. Yeah, it's tough. So anyway, and I even got myself a little 3D printed jig that I designed. I actually designed that for the foil Mustang and thought, well, you know what? I can shrink that down a bit and make it work for this thing. So there's that. That's cool and fun. Well, yeah, I'm not so sure I'm convinced that all the bodywork at that size is actually fun, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, so here's some cool stuff that I got in the mail. These things come from Grega Krisman. He and a buddy of his have a little company going called Offset Scale Models. And they are designing and 3D printing cool stuff. And he sent me over some samples because we've been chatting up about 3D printing. Grega is a really, really good model maker and just an all-around cool dude, but he's gotten into doing CAD work and stuff like stuff like Blender. Wow, these staples are super stout. I don't know if I'm gonna, yeah. All right, well, if I'm going to get those staples out of there, we will not get to look at these anytime soon. So I am going to cheat and just do it the barbarian way. See what we got here so that we can take a good close look. These parts are I think these are, F-15 wheel sets. He's been doing a bunch of stuff for the F-15 in 1/48 scale. And it makes me wish that I was more interested in the F-15 because these parts are super dope. Let's see here. You can see really nice prints with the complete with the logos and the tire information. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And there's that inside hub. I'm not sure what kit these are for. It doesn't say here on the thing, but it's good stuff no matter what. And maybe it, could work for any of the available kits. I don't really know enough about F-15 kits at all to really even begin to comment on that. But it's good stuff. These, not sure what these are. These or some type of, little wheel-looking thing. This is a boarding ladder. I believe this works on like Russian jets. That is really cool, very delicate, really nicely supported. And I think it's cool that they're sending this stuff out with it still on the supports, because yeah, that's work that you have to do once you get them. But in my experience, that's always better because they travel. They tend to ship better on the supports when they're really delicate like that. And it allows you to take them off of the supports in whatever way you see fit, or maybe even paint them, you know, or at least prime while they're, and do any kind of body work you have to do while they're still on the supports, because that's kind of analogous to them still being on the sprue, which is often the very best holder for parts. Okay, these are some little bitty tiny hydraulic fittings, kind of like what Tom Annie's is doing. These look like AN fittings, Army Navy compression fittings. Looks like you got a couple of different scale options, maybe, you know, 1/48 and 1/32, although, you know, what size they are just really depends on what size tubing they're going on. So anyway, those are super cool. Nice design work there. Okay, all right, now here's one that I really want to see because this just blows my mind. There's a couple of guys out there like David Parker and James Rice, who and Fanch Lubin too, who have gone from using Fusion 360, which is great for designing mechanical parts, and transitioned over to Blender or ZBrush for sculpting soft surface stuff. And it just blows my mind that these guys are able to produce this kind of stuff. These are 1/48 scale ground crew, Navy ground crew that Grega has done. I'm not sure if he uses ZBrush or Blender, but either way, man, this is really, really cool stuff. You know, this is one of those things where the tools are really just, it's almost made for the application, because obviously there's lots of limitations to creating realistic figures at any scale if you are forced to accommodate the limitations of injection molding. And you're just not going to be able to get the detail as crisp, you know, with undercuts and all those kind of things. I mean, look, here's, okay, let's go. Yoshi, you haven't been called out for duty in a while. So this is Yoshi. He hangs out on my desk. He's the 1/48 scale pilot from a Tamiya Zero kit that I painted years ago as just as an exercise. So, you know, like, compare Yoshi and his facial features to this guy. We'll call him Chad, maybe. Can we get either one of them to focus? I'll put both of them right. Yeah, well, maybe not. Shit. Fucking cameras. Okay, here. I guess I'm going to have to do this. Okay, all right. Okay, let's put Yoshi right there. I'm sure he's not going to appreciate being flopped over on his back like that. Good Lord. This is why I hate doing shit on camera. Okay, so, all right, there we go. Yoshi and Chad hanging out there. And you can get, you know, a pretty good comparison between the, you know, level of detail and the crispness. Anyway, yeah, there you go. There's another one of Chad's buddies. We'll call him Keith. Pretty good. Pretty cool. So, good work from the guys at Offset Scale Models. Neat stuff. All right, something of my own that I have designed in Fusion 360. That is a product you can also get Oh wait, I forgot. These are the exhaust cans for the F-15, and you can see it's for the Great Wall Hobby Kit. So probably all these parts are. Anyway, those are going to be dope, I'm sure. Anyway, this is the new version of the Benchmate. If you're not familiar, the Benchmate is a fixture that I designed for Masterpiece Models, which is my buddy John Geigel up there in the Pacific Northwest. Masterpiece Models. He makes a lot of cool stuff that he sells through his website. And the whole point of the Benchmate, and this is pretty big, maybe I may not even be able to get the whole thing on camera, but the whole point of the Benchmate was to give you a fixture that you could use to plant your model airplane for whatever kind of work you might need to do. And the idea was to make this where it was simple and easy to put together. It could be adjusted one hand, because especially for me with my clumsy fingers, I don't want to have to hold a screw on the bottom while I tighten the nut on the top. And so all of the fasteners on this thing work in slots, and they're carriage bolts or stove bolts. So they have that square shank on there that keeps them from turning when you are tightening up the wing nut. And obviously, you can set up the height to be whatever you want. And it's got these things here for the fuselage, and then these supports over here for the wings. Well, that's all fine, but it doesn't work for tanks or ships or car models, at least not very well. And so John's been wanting me to design one that does. So we've got the Benchmate 2, which has the same supports and not the same risers, but the same supports here and the same mechanism for one-handed tightening or adjustment. But I created these risers and this sliding clamp jaw system. So this allows you to put something in there that is more boxy shaped, like the hull of a tank. And yeah, and I probably should have assembled this with the jaws with the screw on the other side, because it doesn't really matter. You can put the screw in from either direction, but the idea is that you put your gizmo in there, slide the jaws up on it, and then tighten the screw, which, yeah, obviously would be easier if it were out here on this side. Anyway, you can also then use this screw to tilt it, because these will rotate like that, so that you can get at it at an angle. Otherwise, it's got the same exact base as the version 1.0. And I believe that John's going to offer this thing as a complete product with all of the gizmos for this style. Or if you already have version 1.0 and you want these clamps and risers, you can buy them by themselves. So anyway, I think it's pretty cool. I'm not really sure, I don't really remember, but I think that it retails for about $30, which is, if I recall correctly, a little less expensive than some of the competing products out there. Here's something else that I got. Haven't tried it yet, but my buddy John Colasante has been telling me about this. And this is new, at least to me, in the all-clad lineup. This ALC 126 High Shine Aluminum Plus. High Shine Plus Aluminum. And John says that not only does it have a little more luster, like it's a little more like a polished aluminum, but it's more durable than the other High Shine finishes. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to check it out, test it, see what's up. So that's interesting. Lastly, but not leastly, you guys may have noticed that I've got this ring on my index finger. I used to always wear a ring on this finger, cause reasons, and I guess that it did not go unnoticed, because my Facebook buddy Nicholas Ridgway messaged me, and he's like, "Hey man, I make rings. I make jewelry. It's part of what he does to keep himself busy, because he's a disabled veteran. He got hurt over in the sand, and he got connected to our model making groups because he's doing some of that as well. But he makes these badass rings, and he's got an Etsy store, and I need to dial up the address for that so you guys can go and check it out, because he really does have a lot of really cool stuff. So this is what it is: Etsy.com/shop eccentric bazaar. Nicholas Ridgway. Anyway, he's got a lot of these really dope ring designs. If I can get this thing off my fat finger, you can see this is turned out of Damascus. That is, I believe this is a mixture of tungsten and stainless. I'm not totally sure, but isn't that cool? Look at that pattern in there. It's just really beautiful. And then this outer part is a mixture of some different gemstone type things and pieces of a meteorite. And apparently when you put this out in the sun, it collects ultraviolet energy, and then it'll glow in the dark. I haven't tried that yet, but anyway, it's really beautiful. It's really cool. And Nicholas was just super, super generous to send this to me. Really, I was just blown away that he would do that. He also sent me this stuff because he's been following my aluminum polishing misadventures, and he says that this Flitz is a really great polish. It's what he uses on these rings. So I'm going to give that a try as well. Anyway, that's it. That's that. Lots of super cool stuff.